Started working for a new company, or you're at your current employer and you think, oh, if you work hard and you're loyal to the company, they'll reward you with loyalty too. But it doesn't work that way. It's not a two-way street. I myself have worked at many companies like this, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, and so on. And I've worked in finance for over 10 years, and I've realized that, that company loyalty doesn't exist. And I'm sure many of you dealing with layoffs currently in tech, in finance, in consulting, and these type of roles, you've dealt with that, very tough scenario, right? Where you're working hard, you're maybe getting paid well, and you think they're going to be loyal to you because you're loyal to the company, but that is not the case. Now, there's a couple funny memes we're going to go through in a few video clips that really help drive home this lesson and help us really rethink and rejig our mind from the corporate brainwashing. Look at this funny meme about putting on a clown mask. Maybe if I work hard, if I go above and beyond, if I never use sick days or vacation days, the company will notice and appreciate. If you're working for a company, you're just a statistic, you're just one name, one line item, one cost in the spreadsheet of all thousands of employees they typically have for these big companies you're working at. Working hard doesn't necessarily pay off, as I've covered in many of my videos. If you're working even more hard, you're probably going to burn yourself out, completing all these pointless reports and paperwork for a company that is not going to value it. If you avoid sick days and vacation days, firstly, that is a very bad idea. If you are genuinely sick, of course, use your sick days. If you want to use vacation to take a break, value yourself, your time, your health, your well-being, spending time with family, perhaps on vacation, that's important. The company will not notice or appreciate all this extra work you're doing and extra time you're putting in. What they will notice, what will help you get job security and loyalty from the company, is playing office politics, being a popular person in the office. That's what pays off, not being the hardest worker in the office. And I'm telling you this because I've learned that the hard way from experience. Here's another funny meme. I'll be loyal to the company. Here's another funny meme. I'll be loyal to the company. I'll work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I will climb the corporate ladder. And what do you get rewarded with? A pizza party, right? And hopefully it's not the pizza parties that they do behind the scenes in Hollywood, but I'll leave that there. Pizza party in the sense that you might work hard for several years and then what you're rewarded with. I know there's a major investment bank, I won't name, where I have worked. If you work there for 5 years, they give you this little diamond, it's like a see-through diamond award of 5 years at that company. And if you've been working there for 10 years, they give you another kind of weird shape award. And it's just cringe because it's like you get this little see-through diamond, right? It's not like a diamond that's worth any money. It has your name on it and the company. And it makes you think like, hold on, right? Like, what is this? I thought if I've been working here for 5 years, maybe give me a higher salary or bigger bonus. And then there are other people, you've probably seen the jokes online where someone's maybe worked in retail or for a fast food company. And, they're rewarded in some way for working there for 10, 20, 30 years, maybe an older baby boomer generation employee. And they get a pizza party, they get a free pizza in the office, they get a bottle of champagne, a bottle of wine. And this is the ridiculousness of the corporate environment. They think, oh, you're going to be happy from it. They don't realize that's going to be seen as an insult. If someone's been working at your company for like 5, 10, 15 years, probably give them some money, an extra bonus or something. They don't care about a pizza party that's going to get written off as a tax write-off for the company as like some kind of business expense. Now we're going to go through a brief video clip about corporate loyalty, right? And what I'm trying to do and help you in these videos as a career coach who's on the side of the employees and not the companies is to undo all the brainwashing. Now, typically to understand the brainwashing that you're fed at every company you work at, where you spend hours there and they tell you what to believe and how to think and how to work, is you need to do the opposite a lot of the times of what they tell you, to look out for your best interest and not the company best interest. I just want to focus briefly on these type of 3 lies, right, that you're told. You should respect the people and property and interests of the company, which makes sense in a sense, right? You want to be respectful of people, but you don't want to let them walk all over you. Number 5 here, you will not let your own priorities take precedent over your employers. Of course, you should have your own priorities, your family, your health, your well-being, your investments, your savings, and your financial freedom. That should take priority over your employers. And your time, you should be the same way you respect the company time and start and finish when they want and complete work on time. They should respect your time and not interrupt you outside of work hours. You'll respect the authority over you. See, this last point, you will respect the authority over you. It sounds like you're working for like a slave master and you're a slave. I understand being respectful of other people, but the way managers often dictate to you like certain rules is a bit too much. It's a bit like they're walking all over you.
Loyalty says, I will stay true to my commitment, even if it...
Here's another 3 lies on your screen right now, right? You should be loyal to the company. Again, the company's not loyal to you. They can fire you at any moment. You should be committed to devotion and duty. Now, devotion and duty, it sounds like something that would exist in the context of a tight-knit community. And even though you might work for a company and they say, well, one big happy family, that's not really how it works. Your co-workers, not your friends or your family. You can be devoted and committed to your duties for your race, your religion, your family, your nation, things like that. Not necessarily to a nameless, faceless multi-corporation, right? Another thing it says in the middle, I will stay true to my commitment, even if it benefits me not to. No. Always focus on what benefits you. The company focus on what benefits them. Don't stay true to your commitment to maybe work extra hours and do this extra work if you're not getting benefited or compensated extra for it. You're not getting a bigger bonus or paid overtime. Another point here, put others first before your own self-interest. I wouldn't recommend you do that. Like I said, companies looking out for their own interests. If you put your other co-workers above you, you end up picking up your co-workers' slack. They're not going to pick up your slack. They might be in the better terms, on better speaking terms with senior management. So they might be viewed upon more favorably, even if you're doing more work. And one company I worked at, while I was on the trading floor, I was providing training for many traders, many salespeople, many of the assistants and so on. And I'd produced the bulk of this training. But I had a co-worker who was, again, more friendly, more sociable in the office with senior management. And we worked on this project together. And I literally did 95% of the work. He just showed up and talked for a bit. This is classically a case of like how you're not really, valued in a company. Like, you're doing 95% of the work, someone else is doing 5%, but they're viewed upon favorably as in management. They're going to be given the opportunities to do what benefits them. So next time, if I was doing that project, I'd take more of a backseat and let the other person take more of a leadership role and see if they're going to step in and do their half of the work rather than me doing all of it. And that's a lesson I learned the hard way. So hopefully that helps you.
Are you the kind of person who can be counted upon to do what you say you will do?
Yeah.
Are you loyal, or do you look out for yourself?
What? You know what the definition of corporate loyalty is? It's them treating you like garbage and you saying, thank you for that, boss. Thanks for that opportunity to be treated like trash. And I'm here for you no matter what. If you want loyalty, get a dog. I work for money, so I look out for myself, as should everyone that works a job.
You have your priorities in order. Do you consider your personal character, integrity, and attitude at work? These are serious questions that are clear. Personal character, integrity, and attitude at work. You have your priorities in order. Do you consider your personal character?
So here's another set of questions that they hand to you in the corporate environment, right? Can you be counted upon to do what you say you will do? So how do you define this? Really, you should put all your, as much as possible, get as much agreed in writing between you and other co-workers, because they don't want to say they agreed one thing with you and dump you with a bunch of work and put that, verbally agree something, then in writing they're saying something different. I always try to get a lot of instructions and work in writing and take a screenshot of it and save it on my work PC. If there is a conflict later, save that email if there is a disagreement later. Other thing is, are you loyal or do you look out for yourself? You should always look out for yourself, as I did mention earlier. And you're loyal to the company to the extent they're loyal to you, which means you're going to do the work that's they're paying you for. You're going to act your wage. You're not going to do extra work beyond little bits here and there just to keep your job stable. Do you have your priorities in order? Well, your priorities are your values and your priorities, not the company's, right? So what are your priorities? I would say for a lot of people, it would be their financial freedom, their health, and spending time with people they care about, right? Health, wealth, and freedom and relationships, things like that. The company is expecting you to be loyal you have the priorities of the company or the company's priorities, the company's profit priorities, and you don't even get a share of those high profits, to view that over your personal interest. Your priority should be, okay, what's my salary after tax? What bonus am I getting paid? What flexibility do I have on this job? What other benefits you might be getting? Can you work from home? Do you have hybrid work? Things like that. That's your priorities, not the company's, and that's what you should be focused on. Do you consider your personal character, integrity, and attitude at work? Now, what they basically want you to do in this fourth point is to basically be a slave, right? They're not wording it that way. They're like, are you going to bow your head and agree to everything we tell you? Are you going to believe all the things we tell you to believe, whether it's work culture related or woke culture related and what beliefs you should have, because they push a lot of these progressive, liberal indoctrination at work. Are you going to kind of be overly nice and overly friendly and emasculate yourself in certain cases when it comes to men in the workplace? So that's what they mean, and it's not really a fair proposition they're giving you here.
But anyways.
Principles of loyalty, honesty, and respect.
So they've got these three values, right? They've got this kind of common theme with three, right? So loyalty, respect, and honesty. Now, is your company loyal to you? As I discussed before, they're not loyal to you. Do they respect you? I mean, I've dealt with lots of questionable, disrespectful comments from senior management, from co-workers, little passive-aggressive digs. I don't think it's really a respectful environment, particularly in the finance environment. Is it honest? Well, everyone around you in the corporate environment is lying to you. They might word things in a nice way, but they're not going to be honest to you. If they're going to lay you off and fire you, they're not going to be honest to you about you. They're going to know who they're going to lay off 6 months in advance or 3 months in advance at least, put together all the paperwork, get a short list of names, even if it includes you, and then tell you right at the last minute on the last day, we're going to let you go. You're subject to a layoff. Here's the paperwork. You can leave the company now. So they're not really honest to you about how they work. So if you're loyal, honest, and respectful to an employer, they're not really going to be loyal, honest, and respectful to you. So the best option there, in a sense, is that you are protective of yourself, protecting your own loyalty to what you value. You're honest in a selective basis, like the company is honest on a selective basis, and be respectful in terms of mutual respect. If someone disrespects you, you should make a note of it, and if it escalates, go to HR and log it as an employee relations issue. So it's not really following this corporate indoctrination, which will essentially trying to treat you like a well-behaved slave. That's how I would describe it.
This is what it looks like. And it's exactly what you would expect to see. If these are the people that actually run this company, it's exactly what you would expect to see. A bunch of old boomer executives telling you that it's bad to have other interests outside your job.
Now, this is something I want to focus on here, right? Often the senior management looks like this or some derivative of this, right? As he says in this clip, the kind of old baby boomers, they're living quite nice lives. They're so detached from your reality. They're very detached from you dealing with the high inflation, dysfunctional social situations and high tax situations. They've probably got a vast majority of their money, millions of dollars, stored overseas in offshore bank accounts in low tax jurisdictions like the British Virgin Islands, like Seychelles, other locations. You probably Malta, places that Isle of Wight, Isle of Man. There's all these different locations. Costa Rica or Puerto Rico. Some of these places, if you have a lot of money, you can store your money there for low tax reasons. Panama, places like that. So they're very detached from your reality, and they're very out of touch with like what your life is like day to day in your life and in the corporate environment. So that's why they push all these ridiculous rules and ridiculous dynamics at work where you're like, oh, that doesn't really work for me. Why am I going to be, caught up in this type of cringe corporate environment? In their opinion, what you think is cringe, what you think is disloyal from a company, they just think it's a fair decision. They have to fire you because they have to cut costs. It's a fair decision. They have to force you to go to some mandatory, pointless workplace training. It's just a corporate decision they have to make, right? So just understand, corporate loyalty really is a scam, as we can see here.
On company time is theft of time. It's
You know what is theft of time? Is when your company says you have to work overtime or you're going to lose your job. So and you don't get paid for overtime here in the United States. Like, look at the results of what the person is doing. Don't look at how they're doing it, the median, just look at the results. Are they getting you the result that you want as the owner? If yes, okay, then why do you do it? Why do you care? It shouldn't matter. Just look at the results.
Using company resources for personal business to support a second job is theft of property.
Now, this is a very important point here, right? So much time in the office is a waste, right? Waste of time chit-chatting with co-workers, people gossiping, people wasting time on reading the news on their work PC, shopping on their work PC, on Amazon, on whichever news they're reading. And so much work in the office is just like time wasting, office admin, grunt work, just pointless, like almost workplace chores, right? So I would recommend that if you are working in the office, you do follow the opposite of this advice, which was, don't steal company time. Make a phone call to your local bank if you need to, deal with some kind of personal banking, obviously not in a public place so no one can hear all your business. If you have to, deal with some kind of personal life admin, making a few phone calls, I don't think you should really worry about it too much. The company is using up so much of your time, wasting it. You have to be in the office, you can't work from home. Things like that are just completely unnecessary. They're wasting your time 2 hours a day, 1 hour commuting to the office, 1 hour commuting back, sitting through pointless meetings that have nothing to do with your work, broad company those town halls, those broad company meetings that you got to attend, department forum meetings, where management are going to listen to the feedback from the team members and they never change anything. They're stealing your time. So if you steal some company time, I won't be too mad about it, right? Just do it strategically so you don't get caught out and people don't have a go at you or curse you out or treat you like a annoying person. So that's something important to mention there.
Consider the 6-point pledge of loyalty.
That's going to be good right here.
Every employee should be able to commit to each of these 6 statements. Number 1, you will fulfill your duties to the best of your abilities. Number 2, you will operate with honesty, openness, and full disclosure.
Don't do that. The people above you don't do that. Your executives don't operate with honesty, openness, and full disclosure. When they're about to fire half the company, that's not full disclosure. They're not honest when they say, oh yeah, you'll get a raise, and then you don't get a raise. That's not honest. Openness, how much you make, Mr. CEO. He's not going to tell you. Why do you have to do all this? It's like, it's the double standards, dude. Like, you got to give 2 weeks notice, but they can fire you whenever they want. You know what I mean?
Number 3, you will obey all rules, laws, guidelines, and standard operating procedures.
Absolutely not. Rules? Okay, do the rules make sense? No? Okay, well then I'm not going to follow the rules. Laws? Do I go to jail? Is it illegal? Am I going to get a criminal record? All right, I'll follow the law. Guidelines? Does it make sense? Who wrote these? Do we need to rewrite them? Let's rewrite the rules while we're at it. Standard operating procedures. Can we make them better? Are some of these bloated? Can we get rid of some of these steps in here? Like, ask questions. They don't even want you to ask questions. Just obey. That's the key word here. Obey. That's all they want. They want fucking robots, dude.
Number 4, you will respect the people, property, and interests of the company.
I mean, don't be a jerk. Don't destroy stuff. That's not yours. To make the most amount of the company, nah. Life before a
conflicts within the system.
So just to conclude, right, so we've seen a few instances of how, the company will push different indoctrination on you, tell you to believe something that are against your best interest, and you should basically understand that company loyalty is a scam. You might be working for top banks, top finance firms, or tech industries like this guy, and you think, okay, doing the right thing, it will pay off. It doesn't typically. Anytime you're fed corporate indoctrination, understand it's coming from the perspective of how the company will benefit from you overextending yourself and overworking yourself and overcommitting yourself to a job when it benefits them and doesn't really benefit you. And that's why all these memes, the first 2 memes we went through here, it really does demonstrate how you should really see work, right? And there is many metaphors out there you might have seen about how you go to work and you're sort of playing a theatre role. You're going to the office is like a theatre act in a sense. You're a clown in the office, you're like a jester in the office. And you kind of got to play along with all these kind of funny, ridiculous, pointless, time-wasting rules for the sake of getting paid that have nothing to do with the actual work you need to do. Because if you condense everything you need to do in terms of the work and not the company culture and the pointless training sessions about the corporate culture and so on, you can really get your work done in like 2 to 4 hours a day. I would say 4 to 6 hours a day should be the normal work day if you take out all the nonsense. So be careful about being loyal to a company that is exploiting so much of your time by following some of the points we raised here. If you're interested in in-depth one-to-one career coaching, which is something I can provide, feel free to reach out to me. The link is in description. I'll help you navigate these tricky corporate environments and also navigate this very unstable job market, which will really help bring you closer to your personal life goals and towards financial freedom and away from this kind of rigged game that you're kind of backed into a corner to play in the corporate world. So there are 2 recommended videos on your screen right now, and I'll see you next time.